Alright, so what I wanted to do today was talk about Separate Ways DLC. We know it's coming with the Resident Evil 4 remake, and there is a lot of discussion about what will be included and what will be skipped or removed from the DLC. So I kind of want to go over the main points people have pointed out over the past couple of weeks and give my thoughts on them in this video. So without further ado, let's just get started. First of all, if you didn't know, Separate Ways was a Ada specific campaign in the original game. It will follow a lot of the areas of the main game, but there was some additional new areas in it as well. And it was good, it was really good. It was included in Resident Evil 4 on the PS4 as just an extra mode. And it also had a different mode called Assignment Ada, which was more of a minigame. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes back as well. But for the most part, Separate Ways was a big hit from a lot of people. And through the files for the remake is pretty much confirmed that it is coming at some point, as well as the options to play as Ada and Wesker in the Mercenaries mode. But let's go into what we should expect from a Separate Ways DLC. So first of all, returning areas and kind of new areas in the game. Now, it is pretty obvious that we're going to see the village again in the Separate Ways DLC. That's literally the first mission of the DLC from way back in the day. You pretty much play up to the point of getting the bell to go off in the bell tower and then saving Leon from Mendez in his house. So that will probably play out pretty much the same. There is a section in the DLC in the original game where you are basically on like this big submarine and you kind of have to fight things around it, and that apparently can be seen in the jet ski section at the end of the main game in the remake. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm sure someone can probably point it out to me in the comments. But it goes without saying that if it's in the game there, then there's no doubt that you'll probably end up going back there as well. A lot of the Separate Ways DLC was pretty much just the arenas you would have in the original game, but played in reverse sometimes, which wasn't a bad thing. It definitely felt different to play them, but there was a handful of new environments as well, and I would hope that they would add maybe the same amount of new environments as there was in the DLC, like the submarine and stuff, but hopefully maybe a couple more as well. A small thing is costume variations for Ada. Obviously, Assignment Ada had a costume, the default remake version of Ada Wong, as well as the original dress version, which I believe is also in the files for Mercenaries as well. So there's no doubt that that skin is coming back. So hopefully we have the option there to switch between them through her DLC story as well. And in terms of stuff that was cut from the remake main game that could return in the Separate Ways DLC, we have the U3 fight. People are really hoping that the U3 fight has been moved into the Separate Ways DLC. A lot of people were kind of surprised that it was removed from the main game. I didn't really have much of a big opinion about that boss fight. I thought it was fine, but I didn't really care that much that it wasn't there. So here's hoping that U3 returns in all its original glory in a Separate Ways DLC. You also have the gondola section, which is just before the Mendez fight in the original game. Obviously in the remake currently you run away from a bunch of villagers and the bridge kind of falls down and then you fight Mendez in his barn. In the original you kind of took these gondolas down to his arena and you fight him in that barn again. And it was a pretty cool section. It was a small section, but it was definitely a fun one. And Ada does go there in her Separate Ways DLC in the original game. So it would make a lot of sense for that area to be present in the remake DLC for her campaign. So hopefully we'll see that gondola section return, as well as maybe some new areas as well, who knows. Things I'd like to see is kind of extra arenas would be cool, so new environments and stuff like that. Different enemy types would be interesting to see, a couple new bosses maybe, who knows. And then maybe again some extra kind of information about Luis and stuff like that, because I feel like they really fleshed out his character quite well in the main game, so maybe have him have some more of an involvement in Ada's DLC as well. And of course with Assignment Ada and Ada's connection with the character, it would be really cool to see more of Wesker in Separate Ways. I know that his character is supposed to be selectable in a Mercenaries mode in the future, so maybe if they flesh him out some more in the Ada campaign, that would be really, really cool to see. But yeah, that pretty much covers what everyone wants to see. I have no doubt that it's coming. Again, it's been leaked in the files, so it's only a matter of time. In terms of a release, I'm not too sure. I would probably say within a month or two at best, you'll probably hear something about it, but I don't know when it will actually release. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the DLC down below. Is there anything you want to see added to it, or do you want to see it kept the same? Is there any more DLC you want to see for full release after Separate Ways is out? Leave all your thoughts down in the comments as usual. Remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you did enjoy, and turn on notifications so you do not miss a upload. Thank you all for coming by, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video.